Saucey family, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys had a great day today. Let's do our top 10 thang, shall we? Shall we? I think we shall. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here. I don't know about you. You read the title, then clicked on the video, so kind of thinking. Yeah. Anyways, top 10 unsettling laws that the government has created. This one, I saw this title and I was like, oh god, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I tend to get very mad at like cruelty, just unnecessary cruelty by humans to humans, or even by humans to animals or anything at all. Cruelty makes me angry, man. Very anti-cruelty over here. If you guys are new here, woo, welcome. It's not this bad all the time. I mean, pretty close, but not this bad. If you're new here, hit that red subscribe button for me. Join the best family on YouTube. Flat out, period, not even close. The Saucey fam. Did I get it that time? Saucey fam? Probably not. Anyways, let's check this out, guys. Oh boy. Take it away. Don't make me too angry.
Imagine living in a place where it is illegal to die. Or
you see what I'm talking about? Like, can we just maybe some common sense? I don't know. I'm 3 seconds in and I'm a little irritated. I need a sign that just says triggered so I don't have to pause the video. Triggered.
imagine living in a place where it is illegal to die, or where pregnant women can legally kill people without repercussions. Today we'll be exploring these laws and more as we look at some of the most unsettling laws in history. Starting off this countdown, we have death. Now this might seem very weird, but for the longest time, it was illegal to die. Yes, you heard me. This law is said to date back to the Greek island of Delos in the 5th century BC. The island was considered a very holy place to the ancient Greeks, so they decided they needed to purify it. By 6th century BC, all dead bodies buried in sight of the island's main temples were actually dug up and removed. They didn't want any dead bodies near this holy place. Turns out that wasn't enough for them though, and they ended up declaring that all dead bodies on the island must go. Then they got even more carried away and just said that the act of death itself was illegal, which is wild to me. Like, what if you accidentally die? Like, how are they gonna arrest you anyways? Like, you're dead at that point, doesn't even matter. But the ancient Greeks were not the only ones with this law. In 2005, the mayor of a Brazilian town introduced a law that made death legal. He implemented this law as an attempt to solve the city's problem with lack of burial spaces. And 3 towns in France also have this law. They have made death illegal since 2000, and that's because they were going to build more cemeteries, but their plan got rejected. So instead, they're like, okay, well, if we can't have more space to bury the dead, then just dying is illegal. You can't die.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? What? It's still a thing right now? Today? As in, like, right now. It's illegal to do you hear yourself when you talk? I feel like I'm addressing my kids. Like, it's illegal to do what? What are you gonna do about it there, bucko? I don't know. Humans. Why?
Coming in at number 9, we have the pet hair. Now, America has some pretty strange laws. If you want to see a video on all the weirdest laws in America, make sure to smash that like button and let me know in the comments below so that I know. Now, in Delaware, you are banned from selling your cat or dog's hair. First off, who is out here buying cat and dog hair? Second, if this is a thing, then dog groomers would be rich. So apparently some people like to wear dog or cat fur, kind of like how people wear rabbit fur jackets. And so I guess there was this whole hair selling ring that they needed to crack down on. According to the law, and I quote, in Delaware, a person is guilty of the unlawful trade in dog or cat byproducts in the second degree if the person knowingly or recklessly sells, barters, or offers for sale or barter the fur or hair of a domestic dog or cat, or any product made in whole or in part from the fur or hair of a domestic dog or cat. So don't do it, folks. Your pet poodle might shed a lot, but don't even think about scraping your couch or leggings to get as much hair as possible to sell. In our 8th spot today, we have the sharing of Netflix. Who here actually owns a Netflix account? Versus who here knows someone with a Netflix account that you are using for free? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I asked this because in Tennessee, it is illegal to share your Netflix password. That is right. That is an actual law that was passed in 2011. Now, apparently this law is mainly directed at hackers who would sell login credentials and passwords to people. But it also applies to the people who let their friends mooch off of their account for free. But if you live in the same household as the person, then it's fine. You're allowed to share accounts. But if you don't, right to jail. In our 7th spot, we have the wild swans. Now,
I'm a very visual person. All I can picture is me getting walked into my cell, slam! And my cellmate's like, hey man, what's up? What are you in for? And he's just got tattoos all over his head and it's just massive. What are you in for, man? Oh, Netflix. Let me out! Let me out! Like, what? Really? Good Lord.
I know this, but in the UK, every wild swan technically belongs to the crown. This has been a law since the 12th century. I mean, I don't know why you would want to put a claim on swans, but okay. Apparently, back in the day, swans were a delicacy, and they loved eating them at banquets and feasts, so they put a claim on all swans. But don't worry, allegedly they are no longer eaten. Allegedly. Now, since the swans belong to the crown, this means that anyone who injures or kills a swan can be prosecuted. And if you steal a swan, it's considered theft. In our 6th spot, we have marry a dead person. The fact that this is a law in the first place, it concerns me.
Yeah.
Now, there was a time way back in the day in France where people could marry a corpse, but only if the family members consented to it. For example, if your partner died in battle before you could get married, or if you were pregnant with their child, then you could easily get married to their dead corpse. And by doing so, it would make your child legitimate. But people couldn't just be like, ooh, Nancy's dead? I had a crush on her forever, now I can finally marry her. No, that's not how it worked. In fact, in 1959, there was a spike of people getting married to their dead partners. On December 2nd, 1959, the Malpasset Dam in France burst. As a result, 423 people lost their lives. After that event, tons of people were getting married to their deceased partners. And as recently as 2017, someone married their partner posthumously. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the smiling. In Milan, ever since the 19th century, there has been a law where it is a legal requirement to smile at all times. Even if you're having a bad day, you better be smiling. The only exception being during funerals or hospital visits. Now, I don't know about you, but my cheeks would kill me if I had to smile all day, every day. Now, it is very unlikely for you to get in trouble if you're caught not smiling, but they have handed out fines for it before. Now, you may be asking me, Lindsay, why is this a law in the first place? To make Milan a happier place? No! This law dates back to when Italy was under Austrian rule. They used this law as a way to force people to accept foreign governance. They thought the people that weren't smiling were the ones against this, so they were easy to spot. But obviously this rule hasn't been enforced in years. In our 4th spot, we have getting drunk in a pub. I mean, it makes sense that if you go to a pub, maybe you'll have one too many drinks and you get a little drunk. Well, don't even think about doing this in the UK. The UK statute actually prohibits people from getting drunk in a pub, the place where you go to drink. This law applies to pretty much any establishment in England.
What? I I cannot compute. My UKers. What? Is she right? That's number one. Question number two. Does anybody follow that law? How strictly is it enforced? That's like, it's illegal to eat at the restaurant. What? Huh? It's illegal to get your car wet at the car wash. It's not working for me up here. I'm shorting out and like, it's not. I need help. Help me understand what that means.
And Wales that isn't private property. It just seems so silly though. You would think a pub is the one place you could get drunk. Now, this is an offense under the Criminal Justice Act of 1968. This law states that under Section 12 of the 1872 Licensing Act stipulates that every person found drunk on any licensed premises shall be liable to a penalty, which currently stands at £200. Moving on to number 3, we have the runny nose. Now, this is another weird law from the UK, this time from Newmarket in Suffolk. Basically, this is the birthplace of horse racing. It was extremely popular in around 1606, and it became a huge business. So big, in fact, that they passed a number of laws to help protect their horses. One of them being making it illegal to blow your nose in the street. They were scared that the racing horses would get sick and not be able to compete, and it would damage their business. So yeah, anyone who was caught blowing their nose back then would be fined. Even if you were caught walking around while sick, you were fined. Don't worry, these laws aren't a thing anymore. In our second spot today, we have the criminal animals. Did you know that back in the day, animals could be tried in court for criminal offenses? I literally can't imagine that, like a chicken taking a stand in court because it stole its neighbor's feed. But alas, it was a real law. In the Middle Ages, people tried animals in court. I kid you not, mice and insects got trials for destroying grain or damaging churches. Whereas larger animals like
Whoo! You remember at the beginning of the video when I said cruelty makes me really mad? Yeah. That was fun. That was a good time, right? We had a good time. You know what also makes me really mad? Severe stupidity. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm getting really irritated right, at the sight of this donkey in a courtroom for committing a crime. Those words have never come out of my mouth in that sequence before, and they will never again. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Pigs and horses got trials for injury or murder. If they were found guilty, which they usually were, they can't really defend themselves, they would receive the death sentence. But it's not like they know what murder is or what they're doing. I mean, one time a pig in France killed a youngling and it got hanged for murder. Isn't that wild? Just thank gosh these laws aren't around anymore. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the pregnant women. Have you ever wanted to get away with murder? And I hope your answer is no, Lindsay, I'm not insane. But if you answered yes, well, turns out it's pretty easy if you live in New Hampshire. All you gotta do is be a woman and be pregnant. In 2017, New Hampshire passed an anti-homicide law. New Hampshire Senate Bill 66 was all about fetal homicide, saying that a fetus is a person by 20 weeks. So if you accidentally killed this fetus, let's say in a car crash, then you would be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But the law didn't apply to pregnant women who might need an abortion. But somewhere along the line while passing this bill, the words got jumbled and it made it seem like it was legal for pregnant women to murder anyone that they want. So for a brief period of time, they could have killed someone and got away with it. Thankfully, they realized their mistake before this happened. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below.
You do know what New Hampshire's state slogan is, right? When has New Hampshire ever been #1 on any list for anything? But yeah, their state slogan is, and I quote, "Live free or die." I can't believe I never heard about that. It was a few years ago, and they're like right there. They're right over yonder-ish. It's the state that touches my state, you know? This has been very interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Below which one of these laws you thought were the craziest. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shout out portion.
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, but you wore me out today. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they're fantastic. UKers, I need to know. Hopefully you've already answered me in the comments. If not, please. It's illegal. Illegal to get intoxicated at a pub. Do you guys not have Uber? I'm genuinely confused and also very concerned because, well, I guess you just have to drink at home, right? Luckily for me, I'm not a drinker, period. I have like an alcoholic beverage once a year at Christmas or something. I don't know. That was pretty wacky. The whole animal one made me very mad. You want to see my dark side? Be mean to an animal in front of me. I'm telling you right now, me and Slappy will take that horn and make it part of your insides. Yeah, it just got really dark really fast. But that's what happens to me. Animals don't choose to live with you. Animals don't choose to be part of your life. It's on you to give them the best life possible. And love them and be kind to them. Animal cruelty is, ooh, baby. Makes me very mad. Makes me very mad. One time, quick little story for you, actually. It's not a bad story, but it sounds like it's going to be. So, we're on the lake in my boat, my uncle's boat, whatever, the family's boat. I'm sitting on the back bench seat. We're flying across the lake. And I happen to look over. Something catches my eye. Something like kind of moving under the tree on the shoreline. And I'm like, oh my God. It was a golden retriever hanging from a rope over the water. Now, I've had pit bulls all my life that jump from tree branches, or I'll bend over a tree that, you know, a little sapling tree, whatever, bend it over so that he can reach it. He'll grab on and just bounce there and just go nuts for however long he wants. But that's not what it looked like. It looked like this dog had been hung on the tree. I, without hesitation, boom, took 2 steps off the back of the boat. Into the lake I went. We were going really fast. It did not feel good. Almost lost my bathing suit completely. It wasn't a great time. Went all the way to the lake. I'm screaming, yelling. We get there, and then the people come out of the camp, and I get to the dog, and I'm like, what the hell? He had his toy, like, in his mouth closed, so it literally looked like, because of the color of his fur, it's a golden retriever, it looked like the rope was, like, wrapped around his neck, but it was just his collar, and he had his toy in his mouth. And as soon as I swam up to him, he let go, and he's like, oh, you want to play? Like, no, I don't want to play. You just scared the life out of me, man. Happy ending, but yeah, I was terrified. I was so terrified. I'm like, I could see people in the camp, you know, like, what are you doing to the dog? Don't do that to the dog. So yeah, Anywho. That was a pretty wacky, wild list. I gotta say, I'm a fan of that kind of stuff right there. Just hearing how we're a pretty amazing species most of the time. But it's lists like this one that just remind me we're not perfect. Oh boy, are we not perfect. Anyways, guys, you have a great rest of your night. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the channel if you're new, man. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe out there in this crazy world. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Peace out, Saucey fam.